up, guys? I'm Daemonxel, back again with another Eve Echoes community news update. I told you I'd be bringing you at least one video per week now. I meant to get this video out before the weekend. I wanted to get it out by Friday, but however, my entire family was wiped out with this nasty stomach bug. I myself was laid up for about 3 days with 103 fever, but I'm good now. I'm here to bring you the news, and a good thing too, because some things just happened the other day, which I can now report on. So, what are we going to talk about? Well, there's a few different things. We're going to talk about some turmoil within AOA. We are going to talk about a heavy loss to SPAI, to MEOW, and we're going to talk a little bit about Rambo and Taylor Rick's podcast, The Echoes of New Eden, and why it is kind of looked at as like a toxic playground, as opposed to what it's supposed to be is an open forum for this game we all love, Eve Echoes. So, let's jump right into it, but you know what I'm going to ask right ahead. That's, you know it's right. Go ahead and tag that subscribe button, ring that bell, share and like the video, and of course, you'll stay up to date with everything I do here on the channel. So let's jump right into the battle story, because that's what I have prepped, ready to go. There was a battle the other day in Impasse against SPAI forces, and SPAI was facing off against MEOW, and SPAI took some heavy losses in that fight. Now, the stats that I have are from the Mobi website, and this is a specific link that I use that I can actually punch in whichever region I want, whatever ship I'm looking for, basically whatever I'm looking for, no matter what date. Now, again, these are all based on submitted kill mails to the Mobi bot. If you have it on your Discord bot and you basically enter your kill mail, it will be there. Unfortunately, without the official API and without an official kill bot, this is the best we have. Now, this is actually, if I remember correctly, this is actually endorsed by Eve Echoes right now until we can get the extra kill bot. But as you can see from this battle, which did happen on the 31st, today is the 1st, so this battle did happen yesterday in Impasse. It happened in the system of, let me pull this up here, X-Tech-0-CKQ. Now, SPAI did lose some big ships, but none bigger than this super right here, the Wyvern. 1.3 trillion ISK lost on this sucker here. It's a great ship, don't get me wrong, but they were just not ready to face off against all the other supers that came to bear against them. As you see on this kill mail, you got a Nyx, you have an Aeon, you got a Hell here. But let's look at some of these other kill mails that happened here, because they did lose not just this ship, but they also lost some Dreads. They also lost some Lancers. As you see here, this Lancer right here, the Bane, got lost here against 2 Nyxes, also an Aeon. So basically, MEOW did bring their super fleet to bear against them in the system of Impasse. And as you see, this is a 1.69.4 billion kill mail. Let's go to the next one here. This is a Valverin, 149.2 billion loss. We also have, let's see, this one here, which is another Bane Dreadnought, 148.2 billion. And as you see, 2 Nyxes again on the top of this kill mail. Let's see, which else one did we have? I think we did this one, the Bane, yes. We also have a regular Revelation kill, regular Dread, 44 billion. We also have a Nag that died, 43.6 billion. And we have a Fiend that died, 9.3 billion. I think this was just a bystander, to tell you the truth, or on the alt. The only kill mail that I saw that was killed was a MEOW Interceptor, 860 million. So, as you can see, SPAI took a heavy loss. I was not able to reach out to anyone this week, especially because I just warned of this yesterday when I was still, recovering from the illness. So I have not reached out to Gengar and anyone else over at SPAI. I have not. Well, MEOW doesn't really return my phone calls anymore. So, but yeah, as you see here, SPAI did have their hands full facing off against it. Now, we do have some footage. Now, this is provided by Hayeko. Go ahead and support this channel as well. I'll put a link in the description of the video. But here you can just see the death of the Super, which is kind of bring this here. As you see, it's working its way down here. CRB was also on grid as well. I don't know in what capacity they were there as. Maybe just to watch. Who knows? Let's see. We're going to come up to the death any minute, any second here. See, they're working down the last of it. And pow. There goes the Wyvern. Massive death. Massive lost mail for SPAI. But if I know SPAI, they will bounce back and they will fight again. You can't keep them down at all. So, yes, as you see, a 1.358 trillion loss to SPAI. So, good fight, everyone, all around, and thank you for the content. So, let's move on to our other story that all is not well in the land of AOA. In fact, there was a corporation that broke, or entity that did break away from AOA and joined Triple V. I believe right now Triple V is part of the Federation, and AOA is not happy about it. In fact, they are calling the leaders out of Triple V, saying they are removing their nationality. They do not consider them Chinese anymore, part of their nationality at all, and they are marked as enemies. Now, this actually moves on to something bigger that's going on, and that is the evacuation of Wicked Creek. That's right. I'm not sure if it's Wicked Creek, but I do know that Sarpion did have a conversation with leaders of AOA. If you're not familiar, Sarpion is one of the leaders of Void, and they're actually exiting some ex-OG citadels and setting those timers for Entosis for AOA. So AOA will be moving in and taking over those old OG citadels that Void had actually now been living in. This actually brings forward what's going on, and I can't really show you guys the screenshots because a lot of the stuff that I am seeing is OPSEC, so I unfortunately cannot show you these screenshots. I know I usually do, but because these are from internal servers that I have and not sent to me, therefore I cannot use them. So I hope you guys understand that, but what I'm telling you is the information that I have here. So, and with this move and everything else that's going on, Brethren Corp being a shell of its former self, the Space Cows also kind of being a shell of its former self, Void being what it is, they are actually all now forming back together and reforming the PACT, that is the Triple H and CC. Basically, they are reforming to defend AOA. Now, not so long ago, they were asking for entities to lay off them, such as the Federation, such as Trog, and other entities, to stop fighting them and go after AOA, because AOA was taking over the server. Now, on the flip side, they are now coming to AOA's defense and will be defending them. This is all due to that group leaving, as I said before, AOA and joining Triple V. Now, this all could be coming to a head with a massive battle looming over the next few days, which we will cover next week on the show, the results of that battle. But could this also be the start of yet another server war? Well, I guess we're just going to have to wait and find out. But if, you know, the PACT alliance, the Triple H and CC, along with AOA, I can only see them fighting against the Federation as well as Trog. Especially now with AOA having so many tendrils in so many regions, and MEOW now surrendering space to Trog with those fights that are going on up in Cloud Ring and pushing into Fountain. If you're into PvP and you're part of these groups, well, 9 times out of 10, well, that's not the right say I'm looking for, but basically, you're going to see some action this week. That's all I'm going to say. There's going to be some great PvP action coming to the game this week as all of this comes to a head. All right, let's move on to our next story, and that is something that Juby has put together called Fight Club. And I know, the first rule and second rule of Fight Club is not to talk about Fight Club, but Juby wants us to talk about Fight Club. Now I'm just going to move this right over into the screen in my Discord here so I can read the message that Juby has sent me. Basically right here, he wants to say that basically Fight Club is going to be a tournament style where people can, or corporations can enter and have 11 versus 11. Now, these tournaments are going to be any organization can fight each other, and the format changes every time depending on what is the most fun to the players and what Juby thinks is the most fun. Here is the latest video. I'm not going to play the video, but I'm going to put a link to the video in the description below. But if you are interested in having these tournaments, and a lot of these times, yes, you can do it with the in-systems of the game itself, you know, with the corp battles and stuff like that, but that's no fun, right? We all know that player-driven events are much more fun, much more entertaining than anything that the devs can put out for us so far as what we've seen. And we can definitely have better I think better odds and better equality over these fights without the systems being held over our heads. Now, Juby is also going to be making a dedicated Discord server for better quality of communication for these fights and these tournaments, and he's going to be bringing these tournaments each week as a video. The latest one is Brethren Court versus MEOW, and it's called a Box Frigate tournament. Now, Juby, if you are ever going to get a starter ship like an Ibis, you know, tournament going, let me in. I need to show everyone the superiority that the Ibis can do. I always endorse my Nat Doctrine fleet, which is 1,000 Ibises against, you know, a Dreadnought or something like that. I think it can happen. I think we can make this happen. I might be deluded, but you all know me. I'm nuts by now. But yes, go check this out on Juby's channel. I'll put a link to the description. I'll put a link to the latest video in the description below. And go ahead and contact him. You know, let's get a fight going. Especially if you are in an alliance or in, you know, or if you just have blue standing with another corporation, but you want to have fights, you want to have fun. This is the way to do it. You know, no hard feelings lost in this tournament. You know, there's prizes to be won. And victories to be had. So go ahead and contact Juby, and we'll take from here. Now, this isn't going to be a long video this week, because there really is not a lot going on this past week. Now, next week, with the coverage of the fight, which I may or may not be a part of, there should be a longer video. So, as I said, you know, it's not going to be a long video this week, but I had a pause because I had a phone call, so I forgot where I left off. So I'm not going to be, I'm not really going to be, you know, super editing the video. So let's talk about the Echoes of New Eden podcast. Let me bring them up here on the screen for y'all. Now, this is the Discord server that you could join in those live shows. And like I said, they have a live show just about every single week. It's usually always on Sunday. Now, they've been doing EU time lately, which just works better with people's schedules. I don't know if they're going to be going back to late night anytime soon. But there's always an announcement, you know, when the when the podcast is, and it's just more fun to be part of the audience. Now, yes, there has been controversy that, you know, this is just a mouthpiece for the Silent Federation, or that it is just a toxic playground, or just a audio version of the Gulag server. This is not the case. Yes, people can feel free to talk without bias on that channel. You can give your honest feelings on how you feel about certain things, and my screen is now falling behind me, so I'll be right back while I fix this. Sorry about that, that's all fixed now. Okay, as I was saying, there are people that say that the show is a toxic, the audio version of the Gulag, everything else. But like I said, it's an open forum. I talk there sometimes without bias, so you'll see the real Damon. If you've been on comms with me, you know, there's no filter when I'm on comms. On this show, yes, I do kind of take a step back. I keep my biases in check. I go off the facts. I read both sides of every story. Anything that's given to me, I go off. I don't really give my opinion on the fact or what's going on in the game. That being said, I feel free that I can do that on the show. And we, as I say we because I am part of the staff. Now, the main staff, again, is Rambo and Telric, but there are other people there that are part of the staff who are parts of other organizations throughout New Eden. You have OC, who can't stop, who is part of She's with the Privy Coalition. We have Jubilees, who is with Void. There are a number of people within the staff, behind the scenes and as guests on the show, who belong to all different organizations, who all contribute to the stories and the discussions that we have week to week on the show. And there have been some very vocal critics about the show, and I'm going to name them. I've had a run-in with this content creator a few times. I think we're on good terms, but we have disagreed a number of times in the past, especially when I was in the CC program, which I'll keep you guys up to date on that. I still have not heard back from the devs. I'm going to try an experiment and re-app to the CC program to actually see if they forget who I am and bring me back in. We'll see. We're going to try that experiment, but I'm digressing. This goes out to Vetemune. Vetemune, you are a great content creator. You put out some great PvP videos. Yes, we have a joking thing back and forth, but Vetemune is one of the very vocal critics of the podcast who refuses to come on the podcast to defend his position. Hell, BRRR even comes on there sometimes. Who knew that, he could talk without full paragraphs? But he comes on and he challenges everyone. So I would just say to Vetemune, come on the show, defend your position, and if you can't defend your opinion about something, then it's not really worth an opinion, right? If you can't, I'm not saying back up what you're saying, but defend. I mean, we've had people like Benzie came on, and you know how much of a critic that Rambo and Taylor are of Benzie. Taylor hates Benzie with a passion. Probably not anymore, but they were still very professional, very cordial to him when he came on the show and talked about his positions and hashed things out. This is what the show is about. It's just everyone coming together as a melting pot of New Eden to talk about what's going on in the game, in the community, and go forward from there. Other people who've come on. Dahoro was on during the middle of the war and had even MG Day, who was also in the war on the opposing sides, in the chair with him. So they were both on the show at the same time, talking to each other, and they both put their things outside to come on the podcast to talk. It's a live entertainment show. Not only do we bring news and experiences about the game to listeners, we also consider your suggestions from both the on-air chat, the general chat, as well as the suggestions that are given on the official Discord, both good and bad. We provide feedback, tell jokes, have some great ads, poke fun at each other, i.e. Taylor Rick's Photoshop skills, Rambo's super ability to mispronunciate every single word, me providing news from last year, that sort of thing. We do shame on us, shame on you. Basically, it's basically a what's the fit. It's kind of inherited because I don't really do that anymore. But it's just good fun for not only the people on the podcast, but those in the audience as well. As low effort as it is, it's still more than people expect out of a gaming podcast, and it is one of the top gaming podcasts right now. If I don't have the stats, but I know Rambo has told the CC when we were in the CC chat that his stats are stellar right now, and he's got a massive audience who may not be live on there, but the stats that he gets for people who have downloaded the podcast, who have listened to the podcast, are huge. Rambo did want me to say that what deters people from the podcast is their own bias and inability to think for themselves, that this is a game, it's to have fun, and that's what this is an extension of. It's just an extension of fun. So we're going to end it there with that story, and yes, I'll be back again this week with a new story. Hopefully we're going to have some footage of the big battles that are going to be coming. There's a lot of timers that are set that we're going to be covering that. But until I talk to you guys again, have a great week, have a great weekend, fly safe, and remember, we're always one vision, one purpose, one front. And And I know we just talked about it, but I plug them at the end of every show. If you need more news in your life, that's right. We just talked about it. The Echo of New Eden's podcast, which is every Sunday. And you go live on we talk here in the live on-air chat, and you would just have to come and pop yourself into the live podcast here. Remember, there's only enough space for 50 people. Other than that, you'd have to go over to the Twitch channel and be that. So until then, again, I did my sign off already, and it's probably the fever in my brain that's still not around with me. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys again. All right, have a good one.